Very much, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Acting Prime Minister. Acting Prime Minister, Australians are suffering under your government in relation to rising costs of living pressures at the supermarket, in their electricity bills, in their gas bills, at the Bowser, when they renovate their homes, and certainly in relation to increasing mortgage payments that they have to make under your government. With these increasing pressures on Australian households, will the government rule out tax increases which would further increase cost of living pressures in the upcoming budget?
Give the call to the Acting Prime Minister.
Well, I thank the Leader of the Opposition for his question. Our position on tax, as we took it to the election, is well known, and there are no changes to that position since the election. It's ironic, though, that we get this question from the opposition, because one of the great myths of Australian politics is that the Liberals will always tax less, when in fact the truth of the matter is that the highest taxing government in Australia's history is the Howard government, and the second highest taxing government in Australia's history is the Abbott-Turnbull-Morrison government. Those opposite are the ones who go for higher taxes. In fact, when you think about it, over the last 10 years, if you were a Menzian Liberal and you imagined that you were going to support a party which was about low taxes and small government and small spending, and you looked at this lot, it says everything about why Kooyong is no longer in their pile. Now, we are absolutely committed to—
Order. I'll just ask the Deputy Prime Minister, Acting Prime Minister, to resume his seat. Order. Members on my right. The Leader will be heard in silence. I'll give the call to the Leader of the Opposition.
Well, Mr Speaker, it's on relevance. The Acting Prime Minister is saying nothing to the hurting households across the country in this arrogant contribution that he's making, which is based on fiction, not fact.
The Leader will resume his seat. Order. The Leader of the House.
Just a point of order. You've previously made rulings about the Leader of the Opposition misusing points of order in that way. He raised a point of order at the beginning and then went on to just a general rant, which should not be allowed.
I call the Acting Prime Minister to remain relevant to the question. He is talking about taxation rates, and I asked him to return to the question.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker. And we do understand the pressure that many households are facing with their budgets, with increasing interest rates, and easing the pressure on the cost of living is one of the first priorities of this government. It's why we've increased the minimum wage. It's why this week we have 2 bills in the parliament which are about making medicines cheaper, childcare more affordable. But let me make this point. In terms of the pressures that people are facing in managing their household budgets, a critical pressure is in relation to energy prices, and that is in no small part due to a lost decade of economic reform when it comes to dealing with the question of energy, where they had 22 different energy policies and failed to land one of them. Now, dealing with the cost of living is core business for this government. Our position on tax is very clear. It hasn't changed, but what Australians know is that in this government, they have a government which is going to fight for their household budget.